some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, cause it's Q&A time again. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great, and welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A. And hopefully we got some decent internet here and connection. As you can see, I'm not at home. Let me flip you guys around real quick, show you where I'm at. Guys, some of you guys may already know, but I am at the Triple Crown, which is a fish convention. Kind of noisy in here. Hopefully you guys hear me all right. But it's the American Cichlid Association, American Killifish Association, American Livebearer Association, and the North American Papua New Guinea Rainbow Fish Association, and Australian Association, the NANGFA. So it's been an absolute awesome show. So much to do here. It has been wild because each club, national club, has their own agenda, their own speakers. So you got rainbow talks going on, you got livebearer talks going on, you got killifish talks going on, you got cichlid talks going on. We got auctions here, like pretty much right after this live stream. There's going to be a late night auction. There was a talk at like midnight last night. It was crazy. And holy moly, Big D, my boy, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. That really helps, and pretty much pays me back for the blue Galaris that I just bought and was super excited to get those. So thank you, Big D, for helping with that super chat. You are awesome, and stay awesome, and I hope you're having a great weekend. But I hope you guys hear me all right. Let me know in the chat. Try to pull this thing closer. Oh, and here, let's see the fish. Get set up here. I mean, angelfish are always a good backdrop. And maybe we'll go on a walkabout here a little bit. But I don't know. There's so many people, not everybody wants to be on camera too. So I got to respect that, you know? But yes, definitely having a wild time meeting. There's so many people that I've got to meet that I haven't met, and then so many faces that I've met before, and so many good people here. It's been an absolute blast. Well, let me know in the chat how the volume and everything is. Life with Pets says, what show are you at? I am at the Triple Crown, so it's the biggest show ever in the Americas when it comes to fish. You got the ALA, the AKA, and the ACA, and also the Rainbow Fish Club here. And a little bit of everything in between. And if you guys have never been here on the Friday Night Live Q&A, this is a place where you can ask questions about keeping freshwater aquariums. We got Regina's body. Oh, come on, you're a legend. Get over here. Oh, there goes Regina, Eric Bodrock's girl, Regina Spotty. I've done a fish room tour of hers, and if you guys have not seen that fish room tour of Regina's, absolutely recommend it. She has some of the rarest and wildest fish that you'd ever see. Chris Resecker says, does the Triple Crown have bettas there for sale? So I was actually in the same room that I got these blue Galaris in. There was a guy selling bettas in there. So this is a wild thing about these conventions too, is that they'll have room sales. So what you do is you go up to each floor, you walk around, and they'll post what they have for sale near their door, and then you just knock on their door, then you start making deals on fish. Everybody's got something different. So it almost kind of feels like you're trick-or-treating for fish. It's really wild, it's really fun. Where is it held at? This year it's held in Louisville, Kentucky, which this has never been done where all these clubs have gotten together. They always do their separate thing, usually. And then they all decided to get together since they kind of sometimes will schedule it at the same moment. So they all decided to get together and have it all at the same place and do it for once all together. So it's really rare that this is even happening. And it was either gonna turn out to be a mess or really great. And so far it's been really great. And hopefully they do it again next year, which would be awesome, because you have absolutely everything here. It's so great. And then there's a vendor's room as well where you could get stuff. And there's auctions and swaps. Swaps tomorrow. There's like auctions every day. Multiple auctions a day. Silent auctions. I've been taking some video for you guys. And I will end up making an edited one at some point. For you guys. Mark Dibble says 25 free panda loaches in the Four Corners area. I'll bring a 5-gallon bucket with them to any McDonald's in Four Corners area. Anyone interested? 25 free panda loaches. That is a steal of a deal. If I was near the Four Corners area, I would hop all over that. So hit up Mark Dibble on that one. I would. Oh, show. Thomas G, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Thomas. Always great to see you in here, bud. And I hope you're doing well as well. Jeff Rose Fish Keeping says, quit the angel tank, my friend. Why? Why would you quit the angel tank, Jeff Rose? I absolutely love angels. They're a very personable fish, too. See how they all move whenever you move in a group? It's fun to watch. Got the garden eater over here. Well, they're my buddies. They've been my buddies all weekend. Look at all them bags, fish bags. You guys were making out at the ALA, weren't you?
Want to see some fish?
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't know.
These fish were going for crazy, crazy dollars.
Shelby said she wanted it. I
my
kept
gosh.
the arm strong until I brought it home. Now I get to bring home whatever I want.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, see, I know
Score. Nice, guys. Good job.
I gotta put this down now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's been a blast. It's been a good time. What am I drinking? I am actually not drinking anything right now. I am so thirsty. I didn't have anywhere to put a drink, so I didn't have one with me right now. Could use some water. Could use some water. Would love to get some dwarf neon red rainbows, says Ken. If anybody's got the red laser wapongas, Ken's looking. Oh, you're fine. I'm looking this way. Yeah. I'm kind of doing it right here in the middle of the hallway, as you guys can see. So people are wondering if they're getting in video or not. Boom. All right, any fish questions? That's what we're here, is to help you guys with fish questions. I don't want to ramble on too much about this, but if you got questions about the convention, fish, aquariums, whatever, that's what we're here for. And this has been nice for me since I don't have a table. I'm not doing any vending right now. I am actually here just to buy fish, to restock the fish room. If you're looking for really good fish, good genetics, rare fish, this is the place really to get them. Is any of the Fish Club national conventions, or really any of their conventions that they do. All right, but it's been nice not having to build racks and take a break from that. Sunset Jen says, hey Lucas, what fish are you thinking about buying? So if it has the word killifish in it, more than likely I'm going to buy it. And the only thing I've bought so far are the blue Galaris, and I bought 4 pairs, so hopefully I can help share some with you guys. And also have a pair for myself. Jennifer Weaver, most interesting fish you've seen? Probably this melanistic killifish. So it's kind of like a Dalmatian, sparkly Dalmatian killifish. One of the wildest killies I've seen. It just really kind of struck and put me back. It was really, really neat. And then there's some really neat cichlids in there as well that I don't remember the names of. But I did take a video of a lot of the fish that are in the fish show. There's also a fish show that goes on where they bring in their prize fish and people will compete on having the best looking one in the class. And that's the same thing with killies, live bears, cichlids, rainbows. They're all kind of competing for the best genetics and all that. So another reason why this is a good place to get fish. And Sunday at the auction, a lot of those show fish will go in and you'll be able to buy those, which is really cool, because then you can get some of the award-winning fish. Bravehearts 1986 says, hello, just wondering if anyone has gotten any illness from aquariums. So if you're not careful, there are a few things you could get, like even tuberculosis can travel through cuts and stuff. But really, I've never had any issues. Like, I may have had like a cut and then it'd get like sort of infected, get a little red, but it was nothing severe. But that's about the extent that I've ever seen as far as having cuts and putting your hands in fish tanks. The saltwater, I think, is a little different because they have some wilder critters that could really mess you up in saltwater. But freshwater, not so much. Fish Out of Water says, any tips on selecting juvenile rainbow fish from the LFS? Any signs to look for? The ones that will mature with the best colors. Well, when they're still small, it depends on the rainbow fish, on the color-wise, and also how they're keeping them at the fish store. So sometimes if they're keeping them on a lighter substrate, the fish may not even be showing that well for you to begin with, that it'd be hard to judge. When it comes to rainbow fish, I really recommend a dark substrate, dark background. That way you can contrast the colors, and also the rainbow fish won't try to wash themselves out into that lighter substrate. Now, if you go to the fish store and they do have that dark black background, then you'll get a better idea of how to choose them. And usually when it comes to the rainbow fish, your males are going to be the wider, rounder bodies, and your females are going to be more of the slender body. And as far as the colors to look for, if they look colorful, then go for the ones that look more colorful for you, because that'll carry on. Ron R says, how do you tell male angelfish from females? So I believe the males have more of a humped head. Actually, I turn you around since we've got a bunch of angelfish here. So I believe the males are the ones with more of a hump head, and then the females have more of an angled forehead. And then there's also something with the ventral fin that sometimes you could tell, or the anal fin, I'm not sure. I always went by the head of them. You can see there on the head, kind of how he's got a hump. This one's, it's kind of hard to tell on some of them. A lot of these look like males. They might not bring a lot of their females, I'm sure. Actually, most of them look male. Yeah, not many females in here, doesn't look. I'm not seeing many with like straight slants. Besides that one I did show you. But that's how you can tell them. That's how I usually can tell them. If anybody else has got a better way, then please share. Because that's what we're here for, to share our knowledge. Because I definitely ain't gonna know it all. I've talked to so many people here that have been in the hobby 50, 60 years. And you know, we all still don't know half of anything. Because there is so much going on in this hobby. And G&J's Aquatic Nation says, any experience with black Venezuelan corridors? I have someone offering them to me for $15 each. Those are neat corridors. They often get triggered with the cold water, water changes, being from Venezuela. And really pretty. Really, when it comes to picking fish, I can't tell you if you should or not. It's up to you, because everybody's different when it comes to fish and what they like. And $15 each does not seem like a bad price at all for them. Oh, Johnny's at Dan's Fish says, buy rainbows in the morning. That's when they are most colored up. That could help too. I forget with my no filters. A lot of my rainbows actually stay colored up, especially the older they get, they'll stay colored up. But if kept in certain situations, a lot of times they only do color up in the morning and or night, depending on the breed. But for some reason, after I started keeping them in the no filters, I don't know, they always stay colored up for me. Let's see, trying to hit this. ADH Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says beep boop. All right, I am Robot. Thank you so much for the super chat, appreciate that. I'll put that to good use. Alright, I'm scrolling. Nino Franklin says, I started a shrimp colony a few months ago in a bare bottom tank. I want to add black sand now. Can I just dump it in, or will I have to take the shrimp out first? Now, I'm not sure what kind of sand you're using. You may want to rinse it before you dump it in. And it never hurts to rinse it before you dump it in. But yes, you can just dump it in. You don't have to worry about moving them out. And what I would do, don't dump it in like all real fast, but kind of in one spot, dump it in that area, let it trickle in. That way the shrimp can kind of move away from it without getting buried. And then you can kind of smooth it out to where you need it. So hope that helps you. And hopefully I didn't miss any of your questions. Oh no, Jeanne almost fell in her tank and drowned. That is crazy. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Alright, and I am at the bottom of the chat, so if you do got the question, is where I'm at. Swampy Acres Homestead says, how does someone get rid of Blackbeard algae? So a lot of people use the hydrogen peroxide. I find that to work really well. You could either drop your water level down in your tank, spray what you need to with hydrogen peroxide, or take whatever piece that you have to want to get the Blackbeard algae out of the tank, and then spray it that way with hydrogen peroxide, and it works pretty well. And what will happen is it'll start changing colors, and it's really cool to see, and that's how you know that it's dying. Let me try to scoot this up a little bit. This is the total makeshift studio here. There we go, lounging now. That's cozy. Okay, I could dig this. Alright, sending your love. Thank you, Colin F. Appreciate that. And if you guys got those questions, I am at the bottom of the chat. And if not, you're going to have to listen to me try to figure out what to ramble on. Tyler Fuston says, how likely is it that my Cory catfish have fat deposits and not fungus? 2 out of 11 have it, and it's actually pretty likely, especially if you got them in harder water. They'll get like calcium cysts or fat deposits, whatever you want to call them. It's actually quite common with the Corydoras, and it gets mistaken for fungus all the time. And Ken says, I have a 10-gallon tank with RCS. Population exploded, well filtered, heavily planted. How many shrimp is too many? Definitely can overpopulate with shrimp, and they can, just like snails, where they have the population blow up and then they'll crash down. Same thing can happen with shrimp. And really what will tell you and be a good signal to where you know it's starting to go right is if you start seeing a bacteria bloom. You start getting bacteria blooms in that tank, more than likely it's going to be on the verge of crashing soon. So you want to probably split them up if you see that. But if it's all clean and doesn't seem to be any issues, then you should be all right. And Rocky and Miles says, I believe my mystery snail has passed away in a 5-gallon shrimp and betta tank, but I can't find it. Will it cause an ammonia spike if I don't get it out soon? Well, if you got plants in your aquarium, you really won't have to worry about it, especially with that ammonia spike. Your plants will absorb it up pretty quick, even though it's a 5-gallon. And Betta could even snack on the mystery snail. The shrimp could snack on it. More than likely, it's just going to become a food source instead of just going to wayside and starting to rot and funk up the tank. And really, if you start, once again, see any bacteria blooms, that water turning white and cloudy, that's how you know you have a bacteria bloom, then I would worry about that mystery snail passing away. But usually when it happens in those more natural environments, especially with the betta and shrimp in there, it just kind of becomes part of the ecosystem. But Danimal Cracker, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, got some half peaks today. Never kept them. Any general tips on them breeding, type of plants, etc.? So with the half peaks, what I've been noticing lately, the ones that I have in my pond, is they really do love algae. So plant-wise, moss, if you don't like the look of algae. If you like algae, algae is great. We got that whole pond that some of you guys seen, the 470 animal. I'm sure you've seen it. In the corner, just this huge, huge mass of algae. And the two females have been sitting there. The male's been protecting them. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give birth in there soon. And they like to do that in that algae. So any type of floating plant similar to that up in the ground or mid-ground would be good for you. And as far as like water quality, they're not too picky. And just normal temperatures would be good. But thank you, Animal Cracker, for the super chat, and I hope that helps you out. And Tyler Fuston, thank you so much for the $10 super chat and the support, brother. Says, thanks for the answer, bro. Well, you are very more than welcome. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. I could buy some more fish. And it's so nice to just be here and like that's my only job is to buy fish. I feel pretty lucky. And Ed Echo Delta, thank you so much for the super chat. Thrown down to $3.10. Says, got my order of plants from you. Tank to come soon. Well, awesome, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And for the order, I really appreciate that as well. Since we haven't been getting that many, since we don't have a whole lot to offer at the moment. So that support is greatly, greatly appreciated. RTW 1982, any tips for dealing with heat and aquarium tips? So when it comes to dealing with heat, really it's kind of the source. If your house is hot, or I'm not sure if you're, what the deal is, it's, unless you got an air conditioner, the only other options is to freeze water bottles in your freezer, and that can help, but it can be quite inconsistent sometimes, which isn't a big deal because there's a lot of fluctuation in nature too, so that's probably about the only best ways I know to deal with them. I mean, they do got chillers, but those are super expensive. You could do that too, but really it comes to cooling down the room, keeping the room cool. That's what I do. I just put everything around 76 degrees is what I keep most of my stuff. Sometimes I'll turn the air off just so it could fluctuate if I'm trying to trigger breeding in the fish room. But if you've got a tank that you want to keep hot and the rest cold, just keep the room cold and then get some heaters. Scrolling. Fanatical says, LRB, what has been your highlights so far? Oh, the highlights? It would be hard to say because the talk last night was absolutely crazy, and that was wild to see. And then meeting everybody here is probably one of the biggest highlights, seeing all the people, a lot of people I haven't seen for a long time. So that's really nice. And yeah, I guess. And I mean, there's just so much going on here. To be honest, I'm still a little discombobulated from everything that is going on here because you got like 5 different schedules going on, so many talks, so many auctions, so many fish people. It's just, it's something else. It is something else. And then the camaraderie here is just, it's its own. It's so great because you're sharing the passion with so many people who share the passion as well. And as many of us know that are in the hobby, we don't always have those friends that understand what we're doing and why we're being crazy and having tons of tanks. So it's great to see and meet lots of people who are like-minded. Fish and Shrimp by Rich says, any heirloom guppies? I haven't seen much for guppies here at the convention, but your live bears, like your more native types from other countries and here, you'll see more of that with the ALA. But yeah, here I haven't seen a whole lot of guppies. Joe Miller says aquatic piece doing okay. As far as I know, he's doing good, and a lot of people were happy with their orders last week, so I would say he's doing good. I haven't heard from him. I asked him if he's going to come here, but I didn't get a response. I think he's just busy with life right now, with what he does and stuff. But from what I know, he's doing all right. Ron R says, can angelfish change gender? You know what? I'm not really sure. I think I might have heard that somewhere that they could, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they can though. Does anybody in the chat know? I'm not an angelfish expert at all, so I mean I know a little bit about them. I've bred them before, but I don't think they can change genders. I am on live chat, Lady LRB, and good to see you, Lady LRB. She just came out with a new video too, so if you guys haven't seen that yet, Lady LRB. Actually, I need to promote a couple of her new videos. I just haven't had time to do it yet with everything going on. And she has been coming out with content, so if you guys like plants, farming, that kind of stuff, we're trying to grow things and get things going on that front. So if you guys are interested in that, go check her out. And Brian Maramba says, hey Lucas, can you plant stems in those bunches they come in with the filter material and lead weight? So I definitely take the filter material off. You could plant them in there, but it's going to break down and you'll get fibers, microfibers all over your tank. I don't really think you would want that in your tank. The lead weights you can definitely use. It is best to break them off of that and take the lead weight and the filter media off, but you can get away with it. But it is best to not use that. And then what you want to do is with about the bottom part of your stem, take off the plants, the leaves, and leave yourself about yay much room when you plant it in, and you should have a better success that way. Some dude says, did you see any Melanitania pygmea? I have not. Pretty sure Gary's got some. He's floating around here. I don't know if he brought any, but there will be a rainbow fish auction here. I'll probably be stuck in the killifish auction. That's the only tough part that's going to be about this Sunday when all the auctions are going. The Cichlid Association is having an auction. The live bears are having an auction. The killifish are having an auction. I think all at pretty much the same time. So that's going to be tricky. But I bet you there would probably be some Melanitania pygmea in the region, which I really kind of wish I had some of those myself, to be honest. Verily, Casey says, no, they are sexed at age stage as far as angelfish. So, also, Texas Fish Keeper, good to see you in here, says, is it normal for a betta to stay suspended in moss at the bottom for long periods of time, sleeping or possibly sick? That's just what bettas do. They like to hang out, they like to lounge, they're kind of a lazy fish, and they will trick you often thinking that they're dead, but that's just what bettas do. They just kind of take it slow sometimes. I guess Wesley called the garden a farm today. That's pretty fitting. Easy E says, do you have any experience with the Xenotoca Rio San Marcos? I didn't know how to pronounce that one. Says, thinking of starting a breeding project with them. So no, I don't. I haven't gotten in much into the live bears. Just to be honest, I like color, a lot of color in my fish. I'm more into like the real colorful fish, so I don't get into those real hardcore. But I bet you they're probably here, and it's crazy what some of those pairs of, excuse me, of live bears were going for. I saw a pair go for $210. Might have been a small group, but either way, it was. I was hearing $100 for this, $50 for that, $80 for this. It's crazy what some of those live bears and Goodyates go for. But I personally don't have any experience with them, so I couldn't tell you much. And something like that type of fish, I can't just rattle off like, oh, maybe it's this or this, because it all depends on where they're collected from. It could vary by a lot on how that'll end up going. All right, looks like I made it to the bottom of the chat here. So if you got the question, I am at the bottom. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to ramble on about. To be honest, I'm just kind of tired. It's been a long day. And I'm just glad to hang out with you guys. But absolutely awesome meeting all the other YouTubers and people here. It's just, man, it's been so great. When are you going saltwater? Asked on Ron R. Probably at some point. Definitely at some point, because there are some red shrimp that I want that are in saltwater. So that might be a catalyst for me. Who knows? We'll see. But obviously I'm not going to have much room for them because I have my freshwater tanks. But I definitely want to try them out. Also, Texas Fish Keeper says, I bred a calico male bristlenose with a blue-eyed lemon female. The first clutch of 150 plus was about 80-20 common and calico. This last batch are 100% lemon. Is that normal? I have no idea. That's pretty wild, though. So the first batch was just calico and common, and then the next batch was just all lemon. That's wild. That's wild. Must have been the way the milk transferred into the eggs or something, because you would think that you would still get some kind of mix. That's really, really wild. Fancy shrimp. Yeah, them fancy shrimp. Those things are freaking awesome. They look like cartoon shrimp. Favorite schooling fish? Asked Tyler. Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like I should know that off bat. Rummy nose are awesome. Dwarf neon. Actually, I may have to say dwarf neon. It's kind of technically more of a shallowing fish, but if you get them right and see them school, they're pretty cool. Bloodfin tetras are really cool to see school. Bluefin killies are cool to see school. Hatchet fish are freaking awesome schoolers too. You know I can't pick a favorite, Tyler. I have such a trouble picking favorites. If you see any Rivolus Xiphidius, get an extra pair and I'll buy them from you. Well, I do often get the Rivolus Xiphidius, usually from Blanche Creek here at these types of conventions, and they did have some in the show. So hopefully on Sunday, I will see some. So that'll be cool. Yeah, Lady LRB, Cardinals are great for schooling too. Jessica Hussey says, LRB, do you have experience with green raspberries? So I have kept them once, and I kept them with the chili raspberry, a very cool combination because you get that green and that red. Seems kind of like a Christmassy tank and really neat. And they do kind of like the softer water. They like it clean and dirty at the same time. They're not too picky. I have kept them in like neutral, slightly hard water with no problem. Schmed, building a fish room. Any tips or tricks? 75 and 40 breeders, auto water and sponge filters. Well, 75 and 40 breeders sounds like you're on the right track. And as far as tips and tricks, I'm going to have a lot of rack building videos coming out here soon. You're doing a kind of different style with the auto water and sponge filter, but if there's one thing I do recommend, hey guys, how you guys doing? I haven't seen you guys all week. Yeah, good. Doing it live right now, but I'll catch up with you guys. Definitely. Mike Hellweg and Chuck Bremer, two legends right there. Absolutely awesome people. I had to say hi to them. But all right. But as far as like tips, the control command center. You need a control command center for your fish room. Like somewhere where you keep everything and shelving. You can never have enough shelving. We often just think about the racks and the system of how that goes. And since you're doing auto water change, all that's a little different systems than I do. But when it comes to the other part, shelving and space for like a command center to have all your stuff is something many overlook, and then they try to smash it in at the end and wonder why they don't have space. LRB, what's the best fish you have seen at this event? I mentioned earlier there was a melanistic killifish that I seen. I really wish I could take you in there right now, but they're actually doing the judging. So nobody's allowed in there besides the judge during that time. Or I would take you in there and I'd just show it right to you because it's really wild fish. Peggy Royster says, what do you think about tiger barbs? Tiger barbs are cool. community or even in their own species tank. Especially in their own species tank, they can be really neat to watch, really fun. A lot of personality in those fish, always hungry. Summer Mint says, opinion, a prolific plant species with the highest likelihood for salt tolerance. I'm using mostly for goldfish. Bulbitis might have, I don't know if Bulbitis has salt tolerance or not. I really don't know, to be honest. I have never tested many plants or any plants for salt tolerance. So if anybody in the chat knows of any plants that have a salt tolerance, please help out Summer Mint, because I don't know. What bank does catfish use? Punchline is the riverbank. Jerry Collins coming in with a joke. I love it. Oh, thank you, Thomas G. Yes, if you guys didn't know, I do have a video tour of Chuck Brimmer's, that guy, one of the guys that did walk down this hall. I wish I would have got some time to get to Mike Hellwig's at some point, still on the bucket list to go to his house. But yes, glad you love that video, and so many fish room tours, great fish room tours. If you guys have not seen them in the playlist, I would recommend checking them out. Snoop says best shrimp at event if there was any. So really the only person who brought shrimp that I know of is Grant Eater of the Garden at Eater. He brought a bunch of shrimp. So I guess he would have the best here, since he's like the only one. Chris Biggs walking by.
What you doing?
Live streaming.
You're crazy, man.
Always.
But you know that?
Aren't we all
what
crazy?
they're missing. That's happening.
That's
now.
why I'm been telling them this whole time what they've
they're
been
crazy.
missing. Yeah. But like I said, there's all kinds of people here. Great people to meet. So definitely recommend it. What type of killie was that melanistic fish? I think it was a fundulus. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was a fundulus. Which I did get video footage, so stay tuned. And I will have that out to you. Hopefully, maybe by next week, we'll see how things go. Are you gonna have videos from this convention? Yes, I will. We'll do kind of like a collage video. Hello from the Babes auction. Well, hello, George, RB3. You're over at the Babes auction, huh? Well, hello. You'll have to come say hi to me if I haven't met you already. I don't think I did. Alsa, Texas Fish Keeper says, I hatched a panda cory for the first time, but I didn't make it. My question is, did I feed too early? How long after birth should I offer food to the fry? So when cories come out, they tend to have the egg sacs, and you don't want to feed them until after that egg sac's gone. And this is why I love the no-filter aquariums, is because even after the egg sac's gone, or maybe even in between, there are microorganisms there for them to eat on. That way it's not so much of a guessing game. And yeah, just wait for that egg sac to go away, then worry about feeding them if you're trying to keep it in more of a sterile, targeted fry grow out. Since I do it more natural, it's a little different. So there's different ways to go about it. If you got more of that sterile, clean tank, then you definitely don't want to add food too early. Unless it's a live food. You get into like infusorias, even Daphnia. So if you get a colony of Daphnia going, what I love to do with my fish when breeding them is I'll put the Daphnia in ahead of time. That way they have long enough time to breed out baby Daphnia, because when it comes to Daphnia, they're not all that big when they're young, and the Daphnia are babies. It actually becomes a really good food source for the fry. So if you keep moving those Daphnia over through your fry grow outs, then you'll always have Daphnia going somewhere. Plus you'll always have a natural food source that is way abundant for as long as they're going to grow up, because they'll always have that gradual size of food within that tank to grow off of. It makes life easier when you're doing it that way. Brian Goer says, what's a cool red color fish for a community tank? The Millennium Rainbow Fish, or the Millennium Orange Albino Rainbow Fish, is a really cool color. Swordtails are a good choice for a red color. The Cardinal Blue and Red is always cool. What else is there? There's the Little Rasboras, the Chili Rasboras, got a nice little red color. And it depends on your community tank and how big it is. Greg Jones, what's up, buddy? He says, did they announce if they are doing a Triple Crown format next year as well? Not quite yet, so I don't know. Would have been great to see you here, but I know that's a long way for you. And hopefully they are. I think it's been going well. I don't know about behind the scenes, but as far as everything that I've heard, has been all great. So hopefully they do it again. And yes, George from Oregon, George RV3, I do remember you and talking to you. You had the Oregon Ducks logo there for a while. You've been around for a long time, so yeah, definitely want to meet you. Your favorite schooling fish and huge group of 100-ish, says Smed. Yeah, definitely like the bloodfin, the rummy nose, the dwarf neons, bluefin killifish. Also, Texas Fish Keeper says, I'm trying to grow vinegar eels. Is that a good food to have on hand? It is a good food to have on hand, for sure. Definitely good. I know so many people that have fish rooms that just swear by the vinegar eels. I don't do much with them, but I hear a lot of good for them. And I've seen a lot of people be successful with them. Patty's Petite Tank says, could you imagine if they do this crown thing every year? Yeah, I hope so. That would be awesome. And Patty, I wish you could have made it. It would have been nice to see you as well again. Michael Hagan says, have you found any plants or fish in a Florida water around you locally? So I haven't really gone collecting yet or anything down there. I've just been focused on building up the fish room, but we'll end up going on trips and stuff, seeing all the different things down there and making videos for it for all you guys. Vibes Aquatic says, who's all at the Triple Crown that's in the chat? And Vibes, are you en route? Let's see, scrolling. Steve's Fish Tank says, how's it going? It's going good. Oh, there's just a big old ruckus going on now. Things are happening. Getting fish. Oh, they got fish. Hidden fish. Nice. Yeah, there's an auction getting ready to go on here in probably about 15 minutes here. Summer Mint says, anyone had experience with the new options of Walmart plant lights? They had several new LED strip options when I was there last. Full spectrum versus 500, 6,000K daylight options. Definitely, if you're going to go with the planted tank, always go for the full spectrum. That can help. The daylights are nice. I think 5K is kind of low for what you're looking for in a light. The 6K is borderline. Want more of a 6500K when it actually comes to daylight options. The ones that say 5K daylight aren't quite daylight because they're running more of a like a yellowish tint spectrum instead of like the 6500K where it's more of the blue and white. Jessica Hussey, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that, Jessica, and I hope you're doing well. Always great to see you. Says my Python tank looks like it has mold in it, or my Python looks like it has mold in it, throw it away. So no, that's actually pretty common that'll happen. I don't know if it's actual mold in those, but it is fairly common for that to happen. You could run some vinegar down it, or I don't know, I always just didn't care. It never was an issue when I used Pythons. It never, like, it didn't smell like mold, so I don't know if it really is mold. It could just be like buildup and grime and stuff, like biofilm just amassing over and over and over. Let's see, scrolling. I use sand substrate on your advice and my plants grow wonderful. Yes, sand and plants are a great combo. All right, missed your question. Sorry, very rarely. Casey, let me scroll back up. Oh, will 3 Cory in my 10-gallon slow bearing and shrimp tank Neos? Will 3 Cory in my 10-gal slow bearing in my shrimp tank? I'm not sure what you're asking. You'll have to ask me that question again. So if you're talking about like shrimp and Cory's getting along together and if they will bury or they're slow at burying, probably because there is a predation there. So I recommend if you don't have a rock pile that's able to keep those shrimp safe, then I would go ahead and put a rock pile in there and or separate them. So it all depends. So if you got a Cory in there, they're definitely going to slow your numbers in shrimp. So it all depends on how many shrimp you want, what's your goals on keeping shrimp. Well, you can keep them together. Just depends on what you want out of them. It sounds like they started that auction already, you guys. So I hate to cut this short, but I think I'm going to have to cut this short because this is the good auction. This is where you're going to really get some deals and you never know what you're going to see. So I hate to cut this. I mean, I guess I could walk in there. Let's go down there in there. Like, I totally made my own setup here. Took the hotel stuff. Sometimes you got to make things happen. This is for you guys because I love you guys. You guys are the absolute best. So try to bring you along with me. Here, let me flip you over. But yeah, definitely got to be an auction going on right now. I love all the little tanks. With some rainbows. Legend himself, Rusty. He was so gracious. How's it going, brother? Went and saw his place yesterday, but yeah, you can see it's packed house. Absolutely packed. And this is like 10 o'clock, so everybody's still up. I guess there's gonna be a raffle, everything else. It's kind of loud in there, so I'm not gonna go all the way in. Have fun, you look tired, you need to go rest too. Also, Texas fish keeper, my Placos and cherry shrimp as well as apple snails would be unethical for me to take the aqua shell to try to sell. Some are against any kind of rules. Yeah, when it comes to that, it's always best to just not mess with it. Because you never know who's going to take what and do what with what, in my opinion. That's why I never mess with them. Alright, but yeah, as you can see, go loud. Yeah, it's hard to go much louder. I don't want to talk over everybody since it's so loud in there. But yeah, thank you all. I appreciate you guys all hanging out. I got to get to this auction because who knows what's going to show up, and wish me luck.
Like me.
Until, yeah, like, and this guy's won more fish awards than anybody I know.
No.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. How many you got? Like 100, 200?
No, I bought 16 fish with me, so hopefully I will do very well. Hopefully, I really want that best of show.
I don't know when you don't do well. You always do pretty well. But yeah, there's, like I mentioned, there are so many awesome people to meet here, full of all kinds of knowledge, all kinds of, like, it's unbelievable. So hopefully they have this next year. If they don't, either way, hit up their individual conventions, and you'll always find these people having a good time and getting great fish. So, all right, I'm gonna hop off here. Hate to cut it short, but I hope you guys understand. Until next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one.